Is it true that if you're riding on a bicycle for too long, can you become sterile?
You need to be treated within the first 4 to 6 hours. Once the blood supply is cut off, the chances of saving the testicle goes down exponentially.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Catherine, and you're watching We Need to Talk About This.
Yep.
And we need to talk about this, Mike, because I need to know, if I were to kick you in the groin, I can almost imagine what your face is going to be like.
Doctor, would I have a second bunghole if she kicked me with that? I mean, look at that thing. Painful. Let me introduce to you Dr. Tan, and he's here to talk about testicular pain. That shoe definitely would cause a lot of testicular pain, that is. And so for me, it would just be like a few seconds delayed, and then I realize, yep, that's the pain that goes into your stomach.
And you're not just like being dramatic.
Dramatic?
Oops.
I don't know, kick the doctor, find out if it's dramatic. No, don't kick our guest. Okay, doctor, tell us more about it.
I think different people experience it differently, can happen immediately. And the main reason why it's so painful is because the testicles are outside the body, there's no protection from any muscles, it's just below the skin, and that's why you feel the impact immediately.
Why did nature make it that way? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would they put it outside?
I think, one of the reasons you're asking why by nature the testicles are outside the body is because that's the optimum temperature for sperm production. So in your body, when you measure temperature...
Even in Singapore?
Yeah. It's about 37 degrees out, in your body core temperature, but outside the body in the testicles, where it's in the scrotum, it's roughly about 34 degrees. So it's a bit cooler, best temperature for sperm production, but makes it more vulnerable for testicular injuries.
But what are the possible ways of getting injured? I mean, kicking Mike in the groin would be one of it. What other ways could you sustain such an injury?
So, we do see it pretty, often, in terms of sports injury. You can be hit by a ball. We see it in cricket. We get, injuries from playing football, getting kicked in the groins. It's quite common. But we do see it after accidents as well. Motorbike accidents, bicycle accidents, where your groin gets hit on the handle or various other parts of the body.
I'm curious, is it true or is it a myth that if you're riding on a bicycle for too long, if you've been riding years and years and years on a bicycle, can you become sterile?
No, I don't think that's absolutely true at all.
I have to ask, we've all heard of men having one testicle. Can you still have children?
Yeah, you can still, because the remaining testicle can still produce testosterone, can still produce sperm, so theoretically you can still survive as per normal.
Does it affect the sperm count?
Sometimes it can, but most of the time you can still have enough to have children in the future.
Does it affect testosterone as far as for weight training and stuff like that? Just curious.
Usually it's quite pretty decent levels. It's within normal range, even after surgery to remove one testicle.
Okay. So actually, something happened to me when I was about 11 years old. All of a sudden, my testicles kind of tightened up. I can't remember if they actually, I think they swelled up a little bit because it was definitely, there was some chafing. And I know it's a bad visual. And they just got tender and tight. What is that?
I think at that age, we need to be sure that this is not testicular torsion, which I've got a picture to show.
Oh!
Okay, all right.
You went through that, Mike.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so testicular torsion is when the blood supply to the testicles is twisted, so the blood flow is stopped from going to the testicle can die. Ooh. So in this picture, testicle on the left side is the normal looking one. You can see it's nice, a bit reddish and pinkish. The one on the right side, you can see is bluish. This testicle has been twisted for more than 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
So although I've untwisted it, provided a warm pack, oxygen, after 15 minutes, the color hasn't returned, it's still dead. So basically it's a dead testicle.
And you have to remove it.
We have to remove it.
This looks pretty intense. Do you see a lot of these?
No, we do see a few cases a year.
Is this mainly for younger?
Yeah, this almost always happens in a boy, pubertal age, between 12 to 18 years old, who comes in with testicular pain. This is when the testicles are growing rapidly due to puberty. Usually we diagnose it by looking at symptoms because it is an emergency. We need to rush to salvage the testicle in the operating theater, so we can't wait time to do scans usually.
How does it happen?
Some people are just born with loose attachments, so they twist more easily. And this usually happens during puberty, between the age of 12 to 18, when the testicle is growing rapidly. So when they twist, it's presented with excruciating pain, swelling of the testicles. The key thing is that if the pain is pretty persistent, if the pain just lasts for 5-10 minutes and goes away on its own, probably nothing to worry about. But if it's a persistent problem, after 15 minutes, you have taken some painkillers, for example, it doesn't go down, severe pain, you should go see a doctor immediately. You need to be assessed and treated within the first 4 to 6 hours because once the blood supply is cut off for longer than that, the chances of saving the testicle goes down exponentially.
Too bad every part doesn't grow rapidly for me. Question, when do we see a doctor?
Okay, so I think it depends on the scenario. If you had a sports injury, get a kick in the groin, I would say that you can just monitor first. You can put some ice, have a rest. It should go within the next 5 to 10 minutes. But if the pain is persistent or if the testicle gets swollen to double, triple its size, you should see a doctor immediately. Or if you're a boy, puberty age, with sudden onset, testicular pain, you should get checked out as soon as possible.
Okay, cool.
With women, when they tell you should touch yourself to check for lumps in your breast for breast cancer, is that the same for men?
Yeah, don't worry, we do.
Is that the same for men? Can they feel for lumps?
Yep, you can. It's something that we recommend as well to check the testicle at least once a month. Do it after a hot shower when the scrotal skin is relaxed. And in essence, you just put your 4 fingers behind the testicle, 1 thumb in front, and you feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps that you can feel, because that is one of the ways that we advise men to check for testicular cancer, which is the most common cancer in men, between the age of 15 to 40 years old. So if you're experiencing acute pain or discovering lumps, you should seek medical attention immediately.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, Dr. Tan. We definitely learned a lot.
We sure did. And thank you guys for watching We Need to Talk About This. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this clip, don't forget to catch our main series, Let's Talk About Health on MeWatch.